Subscribe to our channel for more videos.
Hi kids, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna read Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Two Hearts as One. Snow White kissed her husband, the prince, as she left the castle. She was going to visit her friends, the seven dwarfs. "I'll be back soon," she said. "I'll miss you," the prince replied. Snow White sang happily as she rode into the woods. She and the prince were about to celebrate their first wedding anniversary. That was part of why she was going to see the dwarfs, so she could work on a gift without her husband finding out about it. It had been a magical year and Snow White wanted to surprise him. "Hello, hello," Snow White called to the seven dwarfs as she neared their cottage. They had been watching for the princess and ran toward her excitedly. Even Grumpy was delighted. "I have a special favor to ask you," Snow White said after they had all greeted each other. "The prince and I will be celebrating our first anniversary soon. I would like to make him a special dinner, but no one at the palace would let me cook." "They don't know what they're missing," Grumpy said. Snow White smiled. "I wondered if I could make dinner for him here. I also want to give him a special gift, something he can add to his shield." "Like a diamond?" said Doc. Snow White nodded happily. "That would be lovely," she said. Doc smiled. "Don't you worry, Snow White. I'll take care of it. Take care of it myself." Grumpy frowned and glared at Doc. Snow White didn't notice though. "Oh, thank you," she said. "Now how about some gooseberry pie? I baked it this morning before the cook woke up." Snow White took a pie out of the basket she'd brought with her and served it to the dwarfs. This is delicious," Happy exclaimed. After a nice visit, Snow White left. "I'll see you tomorrow," she said. Then she waved to her friends and left for the castle. Grumpy turned to Doc. "So you don't think the rest of us can find a diamond for Snow White? You didn't even offer to let us help." "We'll see about that." He stomped off. All night long, Grumpy planned which part of the mine he would search to find the perfect diamond for Snow White. He stayed up so late thinking about it that he overslept. By the time he woke up, the other dwarfs had already left. "Dagnabit!" shouted Grumpy. He rushed out the door, straight into the prince. "Well, hello, Grumpy," the prince bowed. "I'm glad to find you at home because I have a favor to ask. I love Snow White so much that I want to give her the most precious gift I can to find to celebrate our anniversary. I'm having a crown made for her, and I would like to put a beautiful diamond in the center of it." Grumpy puffed up his chest. "I'll find the most dazzling diamond in the whole mine." "That would be wonderful," the prince said. "Let's meet here tonight." Over at the mine, Doc had already found the perfect diamond. Even though the mine was dark, the jewels sparkled brightly. Doc hurried off to find the other dwarfs and a pickaxe so he could dig out the precious gem. Just then, Grumpy rushed into the deepest part of the mine from a different direction. He turned a corner and saw the back part of the same diamond that Doc had found. Grumpy didn't want to smudge the diamond, so he hurried off to find a soft rag. But Grumpy and Doc weren't the only ones looking for a diamond for Snow White. Dopey wanted to see what he could find too. He smiled as he walked along one of the mine paths. Then he saw it, a large, beautiful diamond. It was the same one Doc and Grumpy had found, but Dopey didn't know that. He used his pickaxe to remove the precious stone, and then he began to chisel away at it. He wanted to make it perfect for Snow White. In the meantime, Doc and Grumpy had both found the other dwarfs and told them about the diamond. As they got closer, they saw Dopey. "Hey, what's he doing with my diamond?" Grumpy said angrily. "Your diamond?" Doc said. "Why, that's the diamond I found for Snow White." They looked at each other. "Dopey, Dopey!" they yelled frantically and ran toward him. Dopey looked up and his hammer fell onto the diamond, breaking it into 2 pieces. The other dwarfs were upset, but Dopey realized something they hadn't. At the mine entrance, the end of the day whistle blew. "It can't be that late already," cried Doc. "What will we do? Snow White will be waiting for us when we get home." "So will the prince," Grumpy said. Doc sighed. "We'll just have to explain." At the dwarf's cottage, Snow White had been busy cooking all day. She had just set the table when the prince arrived. "Hello," Snow White said with a smile. "My gift should be here soon. Then we'll eat dinner." "That sounds wonderful, darling," the prince exclaimed. Just then the dwarfs arrived. Doc carefully set the bag that held his diamond in front of Snow White, while Grumpy gave his to the prince. Snow White and the prince looked at each other in surprise. The prince picked up his bag. "We must think alike," he said. "This is my present for you. It's for your crown. Grumpy helped me find it." Grumpy crumpled his cap and looked down at his shoes. He wished that he'd found a better gift for the princess. "Oh, darling," Snow White said to the prince as she held up the broken diamond. "How unusual." "Yes," said the prince, disappointed. "Unusual." "And I have something for you." Snow White beamed as she handed the prince her bag. The prince opened the bag and pulled out the other part of the diamond. "Oh my," said Snow White in surprise. The prince squeezed Snow White's hand. "It's beautiful, my dear, because it is from you," he said. Dopey came over to the table and pointed to Snow White's diamond and to the prince's diamond. "Yes, they are beautiful, Dopey," said Snow White. She patted his arm. Dopey shook his head and pointed to each of the pieces again. "I'm sorry," the prince said to Dopey. "I don't understand." As the prince and Snow White watched Dopey join the two separate pieces together. "Oh, look!" Snow White exclaimed. "It's a heart. The diamonds are just like us, two halves that are perfect together." "You're right," the prince exclaimed. The next night at the anniversary ball, Snow White and the prince danced happily while the diamond heart sparkled nearby. It would always remind the prince and the princess of their wonderful first anniversary.